the CountryHuman's fandom, where people can basically do what they want as it's canonless besides history itself. Though, some people do get a little bit carried away with the freedom with some concerning ships. But, I mean, every fandom has concerning ships and rotten apples. So the fandom isn't that different compared to other fandoms. Okay, I do get that shipping some countries like the Axis with the countries they invaded, or any country that has modern-day conflict with each other example. Israel x Palestine and Ukraine x Russia is bad due to several obvious reasons why. The fandom may not be in your interest due to your personal reasons.
And that's okay. This fandom has my heart, and it allows me to be whimsical and learn history at the same time. The fandom is small, so surely no content farms. Wait, what was that? I'm sure you are aware of who these people are if you're active in the CountryHuman fandom. But for those who don't, I'll do a quick summary of who they are. HARASS is also the owner of these three following channels, by the way. These three channels has appeared in the last 2 years, and I suspect that they saw this content create a success and decided to milk the fandom due to the view count. So don't believe in their bullshit lies that they're passionate about creating content for you to enjoy. All content farms care about is that sweet, sweet dollar sign and also teaching bad habits to kids. That's the only thing they're passionate about. This video will be divided into sections on each channel. HARASS' part is the longest as he does more concerning stuff compared to the other two.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Staple Shorts is practically the infant of these content farms, as they started doing CountryHuman content 3 months ago. Fortunately, this channel isn't as successful as the other 2 or 4, if you were to count HARASS' 3 other channels that became dedicated to CountryHumans. And I think I know the reason why. Yes, you just witnessed someone doing blackface or the infamous donut lips in the Big 26. Both are racist and extremely harmful stereotypes of the black community. I'm surprised that no one has batted an eye at this. Usually, Twitter rightfully blows up if they do see an actual racist stereotypes in someone's animation or artwork. But oftentimes this results in doxing and sending death threats because it's Twitter. Some of y'all do need to do this. Also, in my opinion, the art style is just so ugly. I'm usually not the type of person to hate art styles, as everyone has their unique art style that helps them stand out. But Staple Shorts' art style is so grotesque. The only redeeming quality, if you can even call it that, since this channel literally did blackface or donut lips and is a content farm, is that they at least draw everything with the exception of background photos. Unlike a certain channel who uses AI for everything besides the countries. Most of the issues of this channel does the same thing as the other 2 channels does. So this will be the shortest section of this video.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no.
CountryHuman is one of the original and oldest content farms, as it started 2 years ago. Wait, the fuck you mean? He already has 9 billion views. You can't be serious. There is absolutely no way this channel has more views than the population of this fucking planet when all of its content is stolen or reposted slop, with the only difference being that there is someone else's short glued to it, for a shitty comparison. There was recent drama in the art community that involved CountryHumans plagiarizing a much smaller content creator, and when said smaller content creator tried to confront CountryHuman, he copystriked the content creator, despite being the one who stole from them first. CountryHuman lives on a throne of stolen content and videos that has been regurgitated so much by other channels. Yet they get to rise up and get millions of views as original works barely get any. His greed, gluttony, and sloth is so bad, it makes the demons of those sins look like their virtues. And when people tried to defend the smaller content creator, the CountryHuman fans went,
Actually, Steve was inspired. He didn't copy. It's just a video, dude.
That doesn't explain why the creator expressed frustration that YouTube refused to do anything about the stolen content and how $10,000s of dollars was stolen from him by CountryHuman. CountryHuman literally copied frame by frame. And what exactly happened in the video, with the only difference being CountryHuman's bland CountryHuman designs? He also uses AI for every goddamn thing in his shorts, showing how lazy he can get if it means to produce quantity over quality. Oh, and originality, because he's allergic to it and relies on others to make it for him so that he can steal them. In order to best describe his channel, let this clip explain.
Cry, little monster. Uncle Monger's got enough carrot puree to feed you your entire life. Jerry, bring over the feed hose ASAP. The boy's hungry.
When I was scrolling through his channel, it legitimately felt like I was falling through the infinite castle from Demon Slayer due to how many re-uploads there were. Like 80% of the content is just re-uploads of a bunch of shorts glued together. Most commonly, HARASS or stateball shorts are in that glued mess. There's also a theory that is possibly true that CountryHuman and HARASS are biologically brothers. So this shit is a family business of some sort if it does end up becoming true. The country ball fandom wasn't safe from CountryHuman's greedy hands, as he had an account called Stateballs, in which those shorts are basically the same as his main account, but country balls. So maybe this might be a chance for Country Balls and CountryHuman's fans team up and find a way to shut these channels out. And also maybe stop with the excessive blind glazing, as if you guys are any better than us. We have the exact same problems and we are two different cheeks on the same ass. But I don't want to get off topic about how some Country Ball fans want to execute a CountryHuman fan for simply breathing. It's just my opinion, and I can already hear a death threat coming from certain people. But like all fandoms, I'm aware most of the Country Ball fandom is relatively chill and don't have any excessive hate on this fandom. Back on topic, I find it hilarious that CountryHuman made this short, even though AI is commonly seen in his videos in everything but the CountryHumans. Similarly to that of Stateball shorts, all three of these channels do the exact same issues, which will be discussed after or mixed into FashGeek's part. CountryHuman is basically the stealer of the three. Stateball shorts is the grotesque borderline fetish animation, and then there is FashGeek's.
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for humans at this micro-instant. For you. Hate! Hate!
I think I might hate FashGeek. I don't know, guys, what do you think? This part will be the longest, as I have already made 2 videos about him on the r/CountryHuman's new subreddit discussing what this motherfucker does. In the second part, you'll be able to see some video clips that won't be available here because FashGeek isn't fond of someone using his work, if it means to criticize him. Yet, he's perfectly fine with people re-uploading his content and stealing content from others. Sounds a bit hypocritical, don't you think? I'll start off with the outfits.
I hate all of the designs, by the way.
A thing I notice is that countries that are African or Latin have very bland outfits. Are you trying to imply something here, FashGeek? It also certainly doesn't help that they made these 2 African countries wear tribal clothing. Oh, of course, why not put Egypt in ancient Egyptian clothing, because everyone there obviously wears such clothing, right? Who the fuck allowed him to make designs in the first place? It's genuinely not that hard to give black people in African countries regular clothings. Somalia, Algeria, and Tunisia did get spared from stereotypes. So he finally did put 2 brain cells together and not put them in racist and sexualized tribal clothing. Oh, right. He also did Madagascar.
Her outfit outfit fuels me with unimaginable rage. Why does she look like she just came out of the shower?
Fortunately, that's all of the African countries he did. He also did Nigeria, but it was used for a thumbnail. And we all know that it's a mandatory requirement for AUGHH to emphasize the boobs and ass of women in thumbnails, because how else would he get views? Now, do you believe that AUGHH is an NSFW artist and doesn't give two annoyed shits if someone were to make NSFW of them? Oh right, I need to convince people who are learning multiplication and going through their edgy phase, who believe subscriber numbers will win an argument if they have more, because that their favorite content creator is a bad person and is doing the thing they hate. Regarding the Latin countries, I think they might be able to speak for themselves on how plain they are. And not even the good type of plain. Argentina, Costa Rica, and Mexico are the only ones with some details to their outfit. They also did Venezuela, but do you want to know something? AUGHH stole someone's Venezuela design when someone stumbled upon this and showed this to me on Reddit. And this is not fan art. In fact, AUGHH has stolen more designs. How lovely of him. Bangladesh? He stole. Oh, so you think Ukraine's design is nice? He thought so too and decided to steal it. I don't know why he decided to make Myanmar be a Japanese schoolgirl, but he stole again. His Israel and Mongolia outfits were someone else's before he stole from them. In my opinion, I feel like he stole more outfits, and my group and I have yet to find the originals. If you do know any of the artists he stole from, tell me so that credits can be given. Pinterest makes it hard to find the original artwork due to re-uploads. There's a difference between inspiration and copying. Inspiration is where you take some elements from something, but adding your own twists and elements to make the two things be its separate pieces. Copying is where you just take the entire thing and only removing or replacing details to make it look like you create it. Like hypothetically brothers, I suppose? Oh, have another case of state humans stealing another video? Frame to frame and everything that happens in IT. Regarding the rest of his shitty designs, it's literally just stereotypes or butchered traditional clothing. And whatever the fuck Thailand's outfit is supposed to be. He also apparently vacuum seals outfits so much, I thought he hired Yandadev to be his artist. I'll be showing the designs I hate the most, along with the reasons why. I would show more, but AUGHH doesn't like criticism and will copystrike me as a way to keep me silent. Isn't that right? Both of the Korean countries' designs genuinely suck. That outfit South Korea is wearing does not look comfortable, and oh my god, where are her shorts? She can feel the breeze down there, and I also despise that skirt. The top is fine, but it's literally the lower piece that ruins it, and maybe get her some different colors for her clothes? And I don't need to elaborate much on North Korea's design. It's literally the 2020 Wattpad nuke kisser trope all over again. And she's getting an infection due to how tight the clothes are. Antarctica is not surviving out in her own continent unless she's from Genshin Impact or she is a mythical character. That is all I'm gonna say. Russia, China, and Japan are just walking sexualized stereotypes. I don't know what the fuck is going on with China's outfit besides cliché Hollywood trope, and his Japan looks so punchable. Extremely plain and boring outfit for such an underrated country, it's tragic. Clichés, isekai guildmaid and Goldilocks cosplaying as a Viking-looking ass outfit. Vietnam needs to slime her barber out and move cities to find Throg's barber because what is that haircut? Germany, wait a minute, why does it remind me of something?
El Macho.
Okay, so his Germany design is basically an sexualized outfit of the Sturmabteilung. If you don't know what that is, it was Adolf's original paramilitary group of the horrendous Nazi party. I am baffled that he decided to make Germany wear that, yet made this short showing that Germany doesn't want to be associated with her past. Yet he made these two shorts? But I suppose it's due to AUGHH not knowing how to handle an O, if he even had one in the first place, as there are many inconsistencies in all of his shorts. Now I want to dive into the main issues I have with AUGHH, and the topic is extremely sensitive. It is the fact he played sexual assault off as a joke, not once, not twice, not thrice, not 4 times, but 5 times. Potentially 6 times. What is sexual assault? Sexual assault can be defined as any type of sexual activity that is not agreed to and is unwanted. This can include sexual assault can happen to anyone, regardless of who they are as a person, and it is a traumatic experience. Yet, Fashik believes it is funny and thinks it can be played off as a joke because it's happening between two women. But he's wrong. Just like how a man would sexually assault a woman, they can do it to a man as well. Just like how a woman can assault a man or a woman. In the short that revolves around this thumbnail, you can clearly see that Germany is uncomfortable. As the short progresses, Portugal and America's hands inch closer to Germany's private parts. At the end, the hands do get there, and the video cuts off when Germany reacted to this.
But Germany is blushing. Maybe she was just shy.
Just because she was blushing does not mean she wanted it to happen. Blushing is a bodily reaction. It even associates with fear, stress, and anxiety. But judging by her facial expressions, especially on the thumbnail, she does not look comfortable. Her body and facial language suggests otherwise. And how do we know for a certain she wanted it? It is similar to this artwork that I heavily suspect. Fashik made, as the art style and rendering are quite similar to his other thumbnails. Poland may be blushing, but from her facial expressions, it heavily indicates that she is in a state of shock as she's trying to process why Germany is putting her hand in her dress. Freezing is another natural response when someone gets stuck between flight or fight mode. Just because they stop doesn't mean they want it. Here is another one. France is flashing Niger, another count of sexual assault, and Niger is visibly in distress. Blushing does not count as consent. It certainly doesn't help that France flashed her before that screenshot. And to make things worse, she pushed Niger down, stood on top of her, and flashed her again. Making this screenshot be worse as Fashik tried to make it look like a funny moment of someone getting flashed. It also bothers me that Fashik had casually added another case of groping in this thumbnail involving America, Soviet and Imperial Japan, in which Soviet using both arms to grab on of the other's boobs. Even if they are fighting, I can tell the other two don't appreciate Soviet groping them. Oh, and a side note. Russia is never going to get along with Japan and America in real life, so why even bother with this thumbnail, unless he has some AU where relations are different. But A&O is a nameless entity that he does not know about. Another case of sexual assault is this short where Japan cuts America's clothes and she falls to the ground trying to cover herself as Japan smirks. I don't know about you, but I would have been traumatized if someone were to do that to me since I was basically stripped of my clothing without any form of consent. Salt would be poured onto the wound if they smirked at me as well. He also did this short for some reason, but me and some people agreed they would not be comfortable with someone putting their boobs on our heads. One stated they would have freaked out if that were to happen to them. This is another case of Fashik not caring about those with sexual trauma and seeing all of that as a way to make a joke for the gooners. Now, before some people attack me in the comments saying that I flinch upon seeing the sight of an exposed ankle, I don't give two shits about NSFW artwork. I already accepted the fact that there will always be NSFW content in this fandom and on the internet. But I draw a line when people like Fashik try to introduce such works to children via clickbait or rarely in the videos, in which Fashik uses suggestive thumbnails as a way to bait them to watch his content, particularly the CountryHuman fandom. And I definitely draw the line when suggestive art of characters like Amanda the Adventurer are made, or if sexual assault is being treated as a joke. Fashik is found in fandoms that are more popular with the children, and he takes advantage by that. He also thinks slapping and this channel is not meant for kids will drive them away. It's literally this image here. Also, considering some of the stuff he uploads, he doesn't put a trigger warning at all.
He also acts like this when one channel gets demonetized, as if his main channel doesn't generate enough revenue to keep his animations funded.
I seriously don't understand on how greedy one person can get. Like, His main channel is still monetized and is giving him a lot of money, yet he tried to act like a poor indie animator just because one of his channels that has millions of views and subs got demonetized, or unless his animators are charging him a shit ton of money. Also, don't rely on Fashjik on history either. His so-called history videos on China, Japan, and France had skipped so many historical events and didn't even bother to put context. Such example is him thinking France's history began with the French Revolution. Are we just going to ignore the 100-year war between the English and the French in 1337 to 1453 then? There is no possible way he summed up China's history in 34 seconds. So he already skipped 95% of China's history. A friend of mine has also stated that he skipped a lot of parts of Japan's history as well. It's genuinely so bad. If you play all 3 videos back to back and play it at twice the speed, think of it syncs of it so well. Like I didn't even intend on it syncing up. I didn't want to hear that supervillain song that sounds like it came from one of my 2019 edgy Royale High OC. So I had Thick of It play over on part 2 in the Reddit video. As for the history of country shorts, they barely did any research on those. And why the hell did all of them besides America end up wearing skimpy isekai-looking ass clothing? Russia is going to freeze to death in that outfit, and France is not going to have a fun time when a wolf mauls her to death, even if she had already killed one. And she is not surviving a bear attack. I'm not too sure about China and India's 5000 or 6000 BC era's outfits, as Google is giving mixed results. Same thing does go with Russia and France, as Google keeps giving me AI images or after BC years outfits. But those clothes don't seem practical for their environment at that time. Oh, and another side note. She should not be happy and being on a whimsical Indiana Jones journey. British ruling was immensely cruel on the people who lived on the lands of modern-day India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. The flag should have been this for the 1850 part, as the British Raj flag was adopted in 1858. It is seriously not that hard to do a simple Google search and spend a few extra minutes on research. If you're going to make videos or a story about history of countries, you need to be accurate and not try to glorify horrific events or regimes. If your CountryHuman world is more fictional like mine, then there can be some leniency when things are inaccurate. But that doesn't mean you do this to the Third Reich. I believe this is the end segment of Fashjik's part, as we will now be moving to the section of implied racist stereotypes, glorification, and the hidden or implied Russian propaganda. All 3 channels also steal content from others. The smaller content creator that CountryHuman copyright strikes simply wanted credit to be given. But CountryHuman is allergic to giving credit and did what he did. Giving credit is not that hard. It's literally copy and pasting the share link of the source you were inspired into the body description. Hell, you can even just mention their username. And no, doing this is not credit, it's literally stealing their video again. Do they expect their audience to know who the other creators are? Moving on, I have noticed a rather concerning thread of anti-Indian or racism against Indians on social media and their hints to it in their content. Someone noticed that India has been the butt joke in a lot of shorts whenever they appear. CountryHuman's India acts extremely stereotypical. Fashjik had this, and I don't want to even show you Staples India. All I can say, they are portrayed very similarly to that of CountryHuman's version. The hidden racist stereotypes doesn't stop at just India. Like, here are some examples. If I were to search through all 1,000 re-uploads of their content, you'll see me going crazy. I'll also show some cases of their glorification. The offensive closed-eye Asian stereotype. The extremely strict parent Asian stereotype. Orientalism of Egypt by putting them in ancient Egyptian clothing. Wait, why do I see his balls? Closed eyes again, and I swear to God if I see this face again.
Yep, get some ugly goo!
Oh God, they seriously did this. The fetishized stereotypical trope of men of color having big private parts. What the fuck, why did he think that was a good idea? Are we seriously trying to make them look tough? Oh, for fuck's sake, Foshjik. Okay, are we supposed to feel bad when? Do I even have to explain? What are you trying to imply here? I don't think I'll be the same ever again after that montage. As you can tell, they have managed to normalize some things within their audience.
But wait, you said that Fashkick had sexualized shorts of Amanda the Adventurer and Wednesday Adam.
Alright, here you go. You won't be able to see the shorts or any NSFW anymore, fortunately, as Fashjik had removed them from his main channel so that he can paint himself as innocent. He had also done this to thumbnails as well on the State Girl's channel, as these thumbnails have been replaced or removed. He'd also had his NSFW Patreon link available on his main channel and even on the Mr. Tai channel before it was removed. But even if you go on it, there is nothing there as he had deleted everything. So he is practically trying to save face. I also had to blur out his avatar as it turns out he copy-striked a video all because his avatar was shown, which is honestly stupid. But the video that was taken down is now back, in which the link will be provided in the description. So basically CountryHuman and Foshkit got confronted. Their egos got bruised, and they decided to copy-strike smaller channels who exposed them and played as victims. Really shows who they are as people. Man, they really are getting close to filling out the 7 sins chart that I made for them. They also, well, mainly CountryHuman and Fashki, seem to have this obsession on how the past or historical countries were better because they're seen as, what's the brain rot word again? Oh, right. They see historical countries as these tough, mysterious yet cool, edgy people and make modern-day countries act like this whenever they see their past selves. Which is a bit strange, cause, I don't think those are tough, edgy, cool, or mysterious. When portraying historical countries in more fictional worlds, you need to do it with caution to avoid looking like a glazer or trying to make them look innocent. Same thing goes with modern-day countries, and especially countries that are at war with each other. As of the moment, one must be careful on how Israel and Russia are portrayed. But just literally just don't glaze, glorify, or support the government as they are committing war crimes in Palestine and Ukraine. I often separate my representation of countries via different worlds. The ones that represent more of the people are in my main one. The ones that are in the analog horror as one focuses more on the government. I feel like I might get off topic if I elaborate more about the AUGHH I have, so let's get to the next part.
My heart is cold. My moves are cold.
When I was forcing myself to watch some content to make the second exposing video for Reddit, I noticed that they tend to play favoritism with Russia a lot. They often make America or any of its allies, such Britain, France and Ukraine, look like dumbasses or bad people, whilst Russia and its allies the smart and kind ones. It's mainly America who gets villainized, in which I get since I'm aware that my country has done awful things. But they have yet to realize that every country is not innocent, especially Russia. There's this short where America, Israel, China, and Russia have to avoid landmines. All 3 step on it. But glorious motherland Russia, smart and avoided it. Another short where Ukraine does the lonely dance with NATO behind her. These three do the same dance, and suddenly the two are scared? Excuse me, sir, but the only winner of that outcome, if it were to happen, are cockroaches, as everything will die from nuclear fallout. Which was the other reason why the US was afraid of the Soviet Union, and why the Soviet Union was afraid of the US. Both countries were aware that if they were to fight each other, nuclear fallout will happen. Stay Human also loves making the US be scared of historical enemies they defeated or outlived. If we're referring to more modern day, Soviet is indeed a realistic enemy that the US feared, as the Soviet Union was indeed competing for the number one world power ranking. But guess who collapsed first? I wonder how they'll feel if they were to see an America ex-Soviet fanfic. Moving on. This entire thing is essentially trying to make Russia look like the victim of the West and how they bullied her. As if Russia never committed war crimes on others and its own people. I have also collected these screenshots, and you'll decide if this is just them glazing the Soviet Union and Russia. There's possibly more, but Capcut is dying on me. But they're also trying to squeeze in political propaganda to kids with their glazing. Now that everything has been said, I'd like to add some ending notes to those outside of the fandom. They do not represent what the CountryHuman fandom is. If you know how to avoid rotten apples, the fandom is a nice one. The fandom is honestly so diverse with how countries are represented, in a whimsical way or more historically accurate way. There are genuinely talented people in this fandom, and it has brought me some comfort when times were rough. Although it's considered to be weird to others outside, shipping helped me as well. Though I am aware of reality as well. Most of my ships are between countries that have good relations with each other in the real world. I believe 2 or 3 ships happen due to dynamics of how I represent them in my main AU. So it hurts me when these larper content farms are leeching off of this fandom for money, and kids glaze them when all they do is steal from others. I'm aware some might be using this video as background noise to draw, but I wanted to get this out and show how terrible these content farms are. Spread this video out as much as possible before one of them copystrikes me. They will do anything if it means to keep the money flowing. Please be civil with their fans though, they are children and are still learning. Harassing, death threats, and doxing doesn't solve shit. This will be the only video about them. If this gets taken down, I'll show updates on posts here. But it'll prove what type of people they are.